another episode of Sleeping Giants Red Star Belgrade. Now, we're at the start of the brand new season, and of course, we don't know who we're going to be playing in the Champions League yet, because the group stages have yet to be drawn, but it is proof, though, that we are going straight into them, as you can see, because it has got our fixtures already on the map. In fact, our first fixture in the Champions League isn't until the 15th of September, which means that there's going to be quite a bit. I don't think it would mean that this season might be even shorter to watch, which might be a bit better, because it keeps the progression moving much more. No qualification games, but obviously it means that things might get a little bit more stretched to the other side of the season now, because as we are starting to qualify for after Christmas European competition. So, you know, point is, it's going well all round. But I wanted to start off today against the first game of the season, which happens to be the Super Cup final against FK Rad, who, of course, we beat 9-0, I'm pretty certain, in the Cup final last season, which was just crazy. So that's what we're going to do today. And in the next episode, we'll do our first Champions League group stage game. So there'll be a lot of league games to get out of the way before that. Now, before I get into that, we, in the summer, were offered the jobs at no less than Milan and Juventus. That's impressive. Like, we've been offered jobs before in, like, France and that, and a couple of lower teams in Germany, but we got offered the Milan job, who are 5th currently in Italy, which is amazing. So clearly people are rating us a little bit more now. Also, we've now got an affiliate agreement with PSG. I did not sign this at all. It was just the board. They just announced it. So I don't know if it's because PSG are trying to get hands on some of our players, and if they are, I guess that's quite a sensible method of doing so. The other thing is, this season is going to be a battle to keep Luka Jovic, mainly because he is in his last year of contract, and I've been struggling to get him to sign a new one. We need to make him a happy dude and find some way of getting him to sign an extension, because otherwise we might end up having him go on a free at the end of the season, and I cannot afford that. We rejected a £31 million bid from Arsenal, and I'm kind of wondering if maybe I should have accepted that, but I did want to keep Luka Jovic. I want to keep him for the entire thing, if we can keep hold of him, but there's bids from teams like Arsenal, and that's going to be a problem. Now, the other thing is, I've had to record my videos in a kind of weird way. So yesterday I just did 2 episodes of Pompey recording, and today I'm doing 2 episodes of Red Star, so it's a little bit off kilter. But basically, later today in my Portsmouth save, you're going to see me talk about, or hear me talk about, streaming on Friday. Basically, that is no longer going to be happening, even though you won't hear it yet. But basically, due to unforeseen circumstances, which I can't go into, unfortunately I will not be able to stream on Friday night, which is a shame, because I was really looking forward to doing it. That doesn't mean, however, that I won't be streaming, because I will. I'm going to try and do my first stream sometime next week, hopefully, when I get a free evening. So that's going to be good. Hopefully, you know, I've got a great idea for a save to do. It's going to be something a little bit different, something I saw and I thought, yep, that's what I'm going to do for the stream. So, with that in mind, let's get into today's episode. Now, of course, it's all about transfers, and that's basically what we've been doing. I've gone out and I've basically said, let's just do what we need to do and go sign some players, go sign some young players to keep this conveyor belt moving. Now that the players are starting to come through, I'm really starting to see the benefits of that conveyor belt that I set up a few years ago. I know I keep saying that, but you can sort of see the fruits of that now with the way we've been playing. Right, so as you can see, there's a lot of comings and goings, basically, and we've spent a little bit of money, mostly on I mean, it was a tough one. Again, these are all relatively young players. I think most of them are around sort of 16, 17, but they have all joined us, basically. I'm looking at a couple more, maybe, because as you can see, we've still got a little bit of money left. But there's an Argentinian lad I'm looking at, and you know we've done quite well with our Argentinians, but we're not quite there yet. As for players going out, Nenad Gavric has left to join Star Belgrade. A lot of players, of course, have jumped ship, including people like Pia, which is a shame, but not much we could do about that. There's a few loans in there. Luka Belic has gone to Cayenne. A lot more loans again. Carmi Mieli has gone out to Rijeka. Dragan Orsag's gone for 450,000. Oh, that was a silly move. I thought that was a loan. Shit, that's my bad. I genuinely thought I got so many bloody offers and loans, and yeah, just ridiculousness. So Marko Matic has finally gone. There was a lot of there's a guy, I can't remember what his name is, but basically he's been acting up, and every time I get an offer in for him, bear in mind he's a bit part player, but I don't want to get rid of him entirely because he still has a little bit of potential. Every time I get an offer in, I reject it, or price them out, which is what some people told me to do, and I get his agent wants a new contract every time I reject an offer, and I've done this like 13, 14 times now. It's getting a little bit stupid. So there you go. Lots of players have gone out on loan as well, which is good, but I've been determined to not send most of my sort of potential ones out on loan just yet. I'm going to see over the first couple of games of the season who's getting near the squad, and then the others I will send out on loan. People like Sidibe and such, because there's money to be gained. You know, I want to make sure that we get the best out of them, but if they're not going to be playing, we need to get them out on loan. So let's take a little look at the players we've managed to sign. Now, I've got a bit more of a variety this time around, I think. So the first one on the board is Rui Fontes. Now, you might look at those potentials and think, well, it's not that great. Yeah, but what I'm looking for here is specific stats that could be good. And I don't know. I think despite his poor low potential at the moment, according to this, my scouts actually rated him a bit higher than that, so I do feel a little bit let down on it. But I still think he's not a bad player. We've really struggled to find anyone that's particularly standout, and maybe that's just because we've been buying such great players lately, and it's just been a bad crop this year. I don't know. Or maybe our rep's fallen, so we can't attract the same level of players. I don't know how our rep would have fallen, but you know what this game's like. For example, this summer I've had absolutely no trouble with agent fees. Not a single agent has wanted anything that's absurd, which is strange. I just don't understand why, but there you go. Which is interesting because I just read an article on Strikeless about how to reduce agent fees, and I was looking forward to trying it out in this, but it just didn't happen. But I will look forward to trying that at some point if the issue returns. Now, again, he's got quite a few blue stats, and for, I don't know, like, I'm not entirely sure still, which is, I mean, Kurt Angioli, and again, is one of the same kind of things. Like, a lot of players in this position have got some decent stats for their area, and again, not entirely sure about him, but my scouts, again, rated him higher, and I think I need to get some new scouts, because in previous seasons, they've been pretty reliable, but the last couple of players they've brought in have been like these guys, who they've rated at sort of like 3.5, 4 stars potentially, and I looked at the stats and thought, well, okay, you know, a few weaker areas, but they are only 16, and some very, you know, fairly decent stats too, and I don't know, I think I need to get some new scouts, because these guys are not cutting it, basically. So, yeah, next up on the list is Antonio Jesus, who has fantastic facial hair, which is good. And again, slightly better, and better stats across the board, basically. And he looks like he looks a better prospect for us. He's Spanish, which is why I was impressed that we were actually bringing in a Spanish player. He's 18 years old, so slightly older. But I think he came through. Who did he come through at? I know we got him. Oh, it was Real Zaragoza. But yeah, I'm slightly more impressed with. I think there's a little bit more to be gained. Like, this is actually not a bad rating for our team. If you actually look at the scout reports on this lad. Okay, so unhappy with the team training workload. That's because of the way I use training in pre-season. Yeah. Let's see what their potential. Have they got a... No, okay, they don't. Usually they have a thing there that tells you what they... Interesting. Anyway, next up. Okay, this is where the money kind of went. This is Ales Ulia. And again, striker, and I've been trying to bring a few more of these in. It's another check. We've got quite a few checks. Finishing is a little low for a striker, I must say, but he's more of a defensive kind of... He's the type of player, I feel, that if we did get him... Oh, actually, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. He's got some good physicals. This is what I mean about my scouts. I did look at the stats, but then... that's a poor one as well, actually. I'm not in that exactly infused. Obviously, I've looked at this stuff before, but now that I'm looking at it as I'm trying to explain my thoughts behind it, it's actually slightly harder to justify, basically. And it really was just a struggle to find decent players this summer. It really, really was. And last but not least, it's Branko Djordjevic, who is a Swiss, and look at that hair. I mean, that is some hair. He has got lovely locks. He looks like he should be in some kind of Swiss folk metal band. And I would listen to them. Because Branko, this is the thing, he's got quite a high value. And I guess for his kind of position, you know, he's got great passing, you know, very, very good acceleration as well. And a lot of okay, solid stats. Again, only 16 years old, so I'm not exactly... too sure about these guys. I think a lot of them could go either way, but then I suppose that could be said about a lot of the players we've brought through. People like Toshka I wasn't too sure about, but he's turned into an absolute star, and we're getting like £10 million bids for him now, which I'm turning down because I want to keep him here. Just in case we do lose Jovic, I'm going to need to make sure that we've got another good striker that can step into that mould, basically. So there we go. That's all we've really managed to get done, and we have spent 7.3 million. I still have about another 2 and a bit left, because obviously we've had to give some players new contracts. Toshka has signed a new 4-year extension, which was very pleasing. People like Tufedzic are wanted by like Chelsea, so clearly he's got some quality, and I hope that this year he can really take another step up. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go straight into today's game. I'm sorry that it's not a big European game to start the season, but unfortunately, because we've got to the point now where we're going straight into the group stages, you know, our first game of the season is always going to be the Super Cup at the moment. But look forward to I'm going to obviously put the Champions League group stage at the start of the next episode, so you'll find out who we're going to be playing in that first game, and it's going to be fun. I'm hoping that we, you know, since we're pot 3 again, we're going to get a decent group and at least get ourselves a chance at Europa League. I know that sounds a little bit pessimistic, but that's the way I'm looking at it now. I always use the glass half empty approach with that, because that way we can be surprised if we do get something awesome happen to us, basically. And, you know, 2 years of knockout football have certainly done us a lot of favours. Now, let's take a little look at well, let's say take a look at the squad, but there's no real point because we've not played any competitive games yet. So we're going to go straight to the tactics screen and have a little look at who will be lining up for us today. They need to choose some squad numbers, people, otherwise the referee will get confused. I've just noticed that we've played them 15 times and it looks like we've won 12 of them, and by quite some margin as well. Right, let's see who's available. And we've got relatively good match fitness. I arranged a lot of friendlies to make sure that we could do that. So here we go. Jovic and Toshka. Interesting that Toshka is preferred as a first choice. Savicevic on the left now. Sidibe off the right. Ristic and Shifezic in the midfield. Antic, Kone, Bazanvira, Adamenko, and Big Stan the man. On the bench, Bajic, Lazic, Kofi, Bojan Horvar, Marian, Kaspers, and Burez. So as you can see, a lot more of our youngsters now are breaking through onto the bench, basically, which is what I like to see. Oh, I see. Ineligible? Why is he ineligible? Oh, that's weird. Oh, I don't think he's fully match fit. I think I made him available for a reserve game by accident. No worries. I'm hoping to get Luka Jovic's morale up a little bit so we can try and get him to sign a new deal. But as you can see, it's not going to be much different to start with. But I'm thinking that, you know, just Sidibe's going to get a chance. So that means he's definitely not going out on loan. Kofi's definitely going to get a chance. Horvar, Marian, Kaspers, Burez. There's a lot more of the youngsters I think are going to get the chances to come through this year. You know, Burez is pretty much, he and Horvat are going to be second choice strikers this year, it looks like, although with Militic in there, who really knows. I'm not expecting us to win by as much as we did last season. I swear I gave these guys squad numbers, like, apologies, my voice just went stupidly high there. Stan, Kofi, Sidibe and Horvat. Yeah, okay, we'll give you some squad numbers. That's good stuff. I don't know, I just want to see a good win. Look at that, they're 10-1. On this game. Have I got the right settings? Yep. So I was just making sure we got the right settings. Right, let's do this. I just want to see us win, and I feel like we will do relatively comfortably. Because, you know, we're the same basic team we were last year. A couple of players have left, but overall I feel like we're actually stronger. In terms of the spine, like the players we can bring off the bench have got a lot of hunger and desire to play well for us, and I think that's going to come in very handy. But I do want to see how Sidibe's going to do out on this right-hand side. Maybe, you know, we need to bring through someone from that right. That is a crucial error. Ristic, Savicevic, oh my life, we've scored within 20 seconds, and Vukan Savicevic is off the mark for the season in typical, typical Vukan Savicevic style, really. He doesn't do things by halves, and wow, that's impressive. 30 seconds into the season and Savicevic is already on the score. That Savicevic won Player of the Year and Manager's Player of the Year and all kinds of other awards, basically. He was just so good last year. This year, I think he's got it in to get 20 goals and like 25 assists, maybe even more than that. If he can stay fit for the full season. That's kind of the crucial part on that, if he can stay fit. But I like that we've managed to come into this game with everyone on like full match fitness, which is crucial, and something that's been taking me a little while to do. And the way I've found to do it, if you have your assistant controlling friendlies, which I do, and a lot of you I'm sure do as well, is to schedule lots of friendlies really close together. That way that he can't keep playing the same players. If you schedule them too far apart, the players will have had enough of a rest to the point where he will just pick the same team again. He's been sent off. That's bloody brilliant. So basically, I've scheduled like a couple of them within like a couple of days of each other in little clumps, and as a result, he has to play completely different teams in both, and it's allowed us to get our entire squad nicely match fit for this. Toshka around the corner for nobody really. I want to see a good season out of Jovic again. I'm hoping that he could maybe hit 30 in the league for us this time around. He got 29 last year, which is pretty damn impressive, but I still want to see a little more of him. Toshka, Jovic, good save, and he is offside, of course. This is on key highlights, right? Oh, it's on extended again. I don't understand why it does that. It keeps resetting it. I think it's because I play windowed sometimes when I'm... Basically, I can only assume that when I play windowed, which is what I'm doing when I'm generally just playing through because I need to be able to do stuff on other screens, you know, just like Skype and whatnot. And I think what happens is when I set it back, it seems to reset some of my match settings. I think that might be what it is. Or it might just be when I go to FM Classic to play like the FM League games. Maybe that does it too. Savicevic, Toshka takes a touch back to Adamenko. Toshka, some lovely football. Oh, it's cleared. But again, decent football from us. I'd like to see sort of 2 or 3 goals today would be nice. If we could get 2 or 3, keep a clean sheet hopefully. Another good performance from Savicevic with a poor touch there though would be delightful. Kone, as you can see, is kind of settling in now as probably our first choice centre-back along with Bazanvira. It's going to be good for those two soon though, as they will almost certainly become Serbian citizens, even if, you know, hopefully just to improve our national, not national team, but oh, what a strike from Florian Toshka. Not Florian, Florentin Toshka. First goal of the season for him on his first start of the year. I think he's got potential to be a 20-goal-a-season player himself in all competitions. You know, with Jovic getting 40-odd, I think Toshka's got 20 at least in him this year. You know, I think he got 16 or 17 last season, which was not bad. And Militic did very, very well to get the number he did. So I'm hoping Toshka and he can both contribute at least 20 goals each. Savicevic bombing into the midfield. A little bit of spacing behind here for Jovic. Can he get his first goal of the year? Ducks back inside, good strike, and it's going to come back for Savicevic, and it is 3-0 to Red Star Belgrade. And wow. 2 goals for Vukan Savicevic. This season has started just as I expected. Since we're 3-0 up, should we try and go for an absolute mauling in the cup final? like we did against them in the cup final. I'm thinking about doing it. Let's go on overload. We're 3-0 up. We're clearly not going to lose this game. Let's just try and see how many goals we can score against them, shall we? See if we can get Savicevic a hat-trick in the first game of the season. Whipped in, cleared away, and Janjic is onto this, but Kone is across. By the way, I'm looking at a guy to bring in a kid, I think he's from Czech Republic, I can't remember exactly. He's over 2 meters tall. He's a very, very tall man. He would give Kone, as much as I said Kone was a giraffe of a man, and he is, this lad is different level giraffe. He's like Jurassic Park giraffe. I don't even know what that means, but you kind of understand the point I'm making here. Adamenko inside for Sidibe, who's been a little bit quiet, but has done a decent job so far. Toshka, will he have a shot himself? He does, and it's over the crossbar there. He does seem to be playing with a lot more confidence this season, and it just seems to have built year upon year. Like, he had a good season the year before last, once he finally found his feet, and last year he was solid as a backup. This year I think it's time for him to step up. Toshka again! There we go, it's 4-0 to Red Star. Florentin Toshka with 2 goals. I'm surprised to see Jovic has been so anonymous in today's game. Savicevic and Toshka really have been the linchpins in this team. Savicevic, I think, is going to get an assist for this as well. So 2 goals and an assist for him in the first half, and Toshka with the 2 goals there. Maybe a hat-trick? He's only ever scored 1 hat-trick for us before, Florentin Toshka, and that was in that game against, I think it was actually against FK Rad, where he scored all 3 goals for us. So 4-0 up at half-time, absolutely dominating. We are looking completely, and wow, actually Savicevic has got 2 goals and 2 assists in the first half. That is mental. This guy's so crucial to our team. Like, he might not look as good in terms of some positions as some of the... Wow, that's a really strange asymmetric formation they're playing. It's really weird. But he's just so crucial for us. He does exactly what we need him to, and I think, if we ever lost him, then things could actually turn a lot worse than you'd think, basically. He's, when he isn't playing for us. That when we have to fill the gap, as much as we can fill it, it's just never the same when he's not playing. We do really have that extra level of quality when he's playing. Toshka with the good header to win that. And now he's going to try and close it down as well. Good play from Florentin there. Just good centre-forward play. Wins his header, and now he's making a run. In fact, can he maybe get on the end of something here? To Fedzic, out wide to Adamenko. We need to see a good season from him. Maybe some more assists, as Lazic was kind of, or is it Antic, was kind of all over the assists last year. And perhaps it isn't, but then again, he does take a lot of set pieces for us. So I suppose that comes down to part of the reason for it. And that's a bit of a lunge there. Perhaps some poor play. Is he going to win the ball at all? Is he going to win the ball at all? It's spread out wide, and Vargas... I'll tell you what. Oh, that's poor. That's really poor from us. I don't care if we're on overload or not. There's enough players there to deal with that. Janjic should not be allowed to... We should not be letting him score from there. That is poor. Firstly, how many chances did they have to make a tackle there? And the fact that there's 2 players here, both of them, it's a good header, but perhaps Stan should have done a little bit better there. Poor, I have to say. But, we are on overload, I suppose. But even so, we should have had enough players there to deal with that. And I feel like we did. Just bad defending. But we're a little bit rusty, and I suppose if you're going to get a rusty spell, make it... Oh! Thought Ristic was going to score an absolute wonder goal. Oh, that's another thing. Milutin Militic won goal of the season last year. If you recall, he scored that absolute wonder goal. I can't remember who it was against. But, yeah, that one that he just flashed into the top corner. In fact, I think he scored a few like that last year, which is something I'd like to see Toshka add to his game, being able to score from range. To Fedzic here, who, had an absolute wonder season last year, and I'm hoping this year will be even better for him. Sidibe into Ristic. Good touch, he's got to shoot. Sidibe cuts inside, back to Ristic. Top corner there. There we go, 5-1. Mihailo Ristic with his first goal of the season. Now, we didn't get many last year, so it's nice to see him off the mark nice and early. And good to see Sidibe getting an assist today as well. It's his first start, I think, for us. And lovely play there from Ristic. I'd like to get a couple more in this game. Why the hell not? They're going to tire, so I'm also going to turn on shoot on sight. I know that sounds silly, but I want to just see how many shots we can have as well. I know this sounds like I'm mucking around, but the fact is, when you're 5-1 up, you can afford to experiment in these sort of situations, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do for our little experiment here is to bring off to Fedzic and bring on Nico Kaspers. And I'm going to give some of our younger players a real chance tonight. So I might bring on Horvath and Burez up front for the last 20 minutes if I can. See what Kaspers can do for us. He's actually... I know that I said that his potential has sort of fallen a little bit when I was looking at those... Oh my goodness gracious me. Comical own goal there from Pavlovic, and it's 6-1 in the cup final. But yeah, so I thought that his potential had fallen a little bit. When he actually joined the club, he's back to being 4-star potential again. So I think it's just... The scout I'd sent out the second time clearly just wasn't as good as the first one. Actually, what I'm going to do... Jovic has played really... just not very well today. I'm going to bring on Horvath for a bit. And who else could do with a little run out? I'm going to bring on Marianne for a little bit. just to give him a little run out. Bring him on for Kone because he's on a booking. I know I've made my substitutions early, but it's a cup final. We're 6-1 up, and I just want to experiment and get these guys some first team football. Basically, you know, it's important. And you know, if they can get a goal for themselves, it'd be great because it'd do wonders for confidence. Sidibe out to Adamenko. Horvath's great in the air. Ball in. Oh, cleared away. Milinovic. There's so many players forward though. Sorry, back for us. And oh, Bazan Vera's done well there. Don't bugger this up, guys. Don't know why you needed to do that. You could have just passed that to anyone. Don't let them score another one of these types of goals. Well done, Adamenko. Out to Sidibe. I think Sidibe's done okay out on this right wing. He's got a lot of pace, so he's kind of like a fast... He's sort of the kind of, you know, the archetypal nippy striker, I think. But, oh, and Horvath on the rebound, perhaps. Savicevic, my goodness. Sidibe, and it's cleared away, and we probably are going to get 40 shots in this game, I sense. Wouldn't be the first time we've done it. We have definitely done 40 shots in a game before. There we go, 41 shots in a game. And look at what on earth is going on there. Guys, you can play football too. You don't just have to pass the ball back and forward. That's a little bit, you know, of a piss take. I can't believe we've had 45 shots in this game. That is, I think, the most we've ever had in a match. In a competitive match, anyways. 45 shots. Imagine if we play like this in the league this season. I can easily see us doing another unbeaten year if we play like this in the league. It's weird, though, because we haven't really strengthened the starting 11 a great deal, and yet we're still playing as if we have, if that makes sense. Like, we look a lot better still. We look even more ruthless going forward. As we were towards the back end of last season, my guess is maybe it's just because the players we do have are getting better, because they are all so young, so they're all kind of getting better together, and it's making life very difficult for other teams. Toshka with the strike this time for the 46th shot of the game. I was hoping we could get 50 shots at one point, but hey, I'll take 46. That, I think, is the most I've actually seen on FM in a game this season. On this year's FM, that's crazy. But only 6-1. I'm almost a little bit disappointed, but I'll take it, considering we beat them 9-0 in the cup final. So that is just 15 goals scored against them in 2 matches. Have we got more to come here? Toshka. And he's kept the ball there. Well done, holding it up there. Nico Kaspers. I can't say I've seen much of him since he's come on, but he's played a couple of good passes. If you could find Adamenko here, that'd be good. There we go. Better. Adamenko. Ball in, surely. Back post. Oh, nobody there. I kind of hoped we could get a hat-trick for Vukan, but hey, you know, he and Toshka have been solid today. Some of the defending was a little suspect for the FK Rad goal, I must say, but then again, we're not going to be on overload in most games. We're just messing around, just trying out a few things here. Ooh, and they're down to 10 men as well. I've just realised that, so there is that kind of aspect to it. You know, they do only have 10 players. There we go, 6-1, and we are champions of the Super Cup. So that's the first trophy of the season on the board. Good performance from Ristic. Savicevic was a monster out there. 2 goals for Toshka. Jovic genuinely was pretty poor. Can't think of anything that needs addressing. Are you joking, Dragan? Come on, mate. Get it together. There we go. Enjoy that. So, a 6-1 win in the cup final. I keep saying cup final. For me, it doesn't really feel like a cup final, if you know what I mean. We've got a friendly there. I might actually cancel that, because I arranged them without knowing when the league dates were starting. So I might cancel that one, just to make sure that we've got a fresh squad for our game against Napredak next week. Now, in the next episode, you'll be seeing, obviously, the Champions League draw, followed by our first group stage game. We don't know if it's home or away or anything, so that's what to look forward to. Hopefully by then, we've got how many games? We've got 5 league games in between there. I'd like to think we can go into that next round having won all 5 of those games, personally. Some tough ones in there, but I still feel that we've got the quality now to win all 5 of those games and continue this little unbeaten run to the next level. So guys, if you like what you're seeing, please drop a like on the video, and if you'd like to even more than that, please subscribe to my channel for more Portsmouth and Red Star Belgrade in your inbox every single day at 5:30 and 8 o'clock, and I will see you guys in the next episode for our first game in the Champions League. See you guys in a bit. Bye-bye.